Three princes, one throne, who wins? A dying king must choose his heir. But this test is not what it seems. Each prince is given a single gold coin and one impossible task to fill an entire room. But as the challenge unfolds, lies, betrayal, and a hidden test will decide who truly deserves the throne. And in the end, the answer will shock you. Would you have made the same choice? Watch till the end and decide. The kingdom of Zumbali had flourished for years under King Osei's wise rule. But now, with age upon him, a great decision loomed, choosing an heir. His three sons, Jabari, the strong and pragmatic eldest, Tunde, the clever and innovative middle son, and Kwame, the youngest and most thoughtful, had all grown into men. Yet, only one could inherit the throne. One evening, the king summoned them to the great hall. The torches flickered against the high stone walls, casting long shadows.
My sons,
he declared, his voice commanding, yet carrying a trace of something heavier.
Zumbali must be ruled by more than strength. It needs wisdom, leadership, and understanding of the people.
The courtiers held their breath as the king raised his hand. A servant stepped forward, presenting each prince with a single gold coin.
With this coin, you must fill an entire chamber in the palace. You have one day. The one who does this best shall be my heir.
The three princes exchanged looks, but before they could speak, the king leaned forward slightly. His sharp eyes glimmered in the firelight.
But beware,
he added in a low tone.
This test is not as simple as it seems.
For a split second, a strange smile flickered across his face. Something felt off. The brothers bowed and departed, each one lost in thought. None of them noticed the king watching them intently as they left. Jabari, the eldest, was the first to act. He knew that strength and decisiveness won wars and thrones. He marched through the bustling market, examining what he could buy. Then he saw it, straw. It was cheap, plentiful, and could easily cover a room. He smirked.
The logical choice.
As he negotiated the price, a hooded figure approached him. The man spoke in a whisper.
Your brothers are also in the market. Wouldn't it be wise to ensure they fail?
Jabari hesitated.
Sabotage? That was not the way of a noble leader.
But then he thought, was it not? After all, a king must do whatever it takes to win. Later that night, a mysterious fire broke out at the market. Some vendors lost their goods, including the ones who had been selling materials to his brothers. Jabari returned to the palace pleased with himself. Tunde, the second prince, had planned to buy feathers to fill the room, but when he arrived at the market, the merchant's stall had burned down.
No, this can't be happening,
he muttered. He ran through the streets searching for another solution, but he had wasted too much time. The day was almost over. With no options left, he saw a man selling bags of ash, the remains of burned goods. It was his only choice. Tunde filled the chamber with ash, but it was not light and floating as he had envisioned. Instead, it clung to the walls like soot, covering everything in darkness. He clenched his fists.
This was not how it was supposed to go.
Kwame, the youngest, had spent the entire day searching, but he had bought nothing. He walked the streets thinking deeply. Then he noticed something, a little girl crying outside a bakery. She had lost her money in the fire and couldn't afford bread. Without a second thought, Kwame gave her his single gold coin. His brothers would laugh at him, but deep in his heart, he knew this was the right choice. When the time came to present his chamber, Kwame walked into the empty room. No straw, no feathers, no ash, just emptiness. The courtiers gasped. "What is this?" someone whispered. The king stared at him, expression unreadable. Then, without a word, Kwame took out a small candle he had found discarded in the palace. He struck a flint. The candle flickered to life, its golden glow touching every inch of the room. A gasp rippled through the hall. Every corner was filled. But Kwame wasn't done yet. He turned to his father and said,
"A true king does not seek to fill a room with things. He seeks to fill the world with light."
The king rose from his throne, his eyes lingering on each of his sons. Jabari had been practical, but ruthless. He had let greed and ambition drive him. Tunde had been clever, but careless, unable to adapt when his plans fell apart. Kwame had chosen compassion and wisdom, even when it seemed like failure. The king smiled, but not in approval, because this had never been about the chamber at all. It had been about who they were when no one was watching. The king turned to a royal guard and gave a simple command.
Bring the merchants and townspeople who were in the market today.
The guards returned, leading the burnt vendors, the crying child, and the marketplace witnesses into the great hall. The truth came spilling out: Jabari's sabotage, Tunde's desperation, Kwame's selflessness. The courtiers were shocked. Jabari's face paled.
Father,
The king raised a hand.
My son, a kingdom is not won by filling a room, nor by destroying others. It is not ruled by force, nor by clever tricks.
His gaze softened.
It is ruled by the one who serves, even when no one is watching.
The room fell silent. Then, the king spoke the words that would change Zumbali forever.
Kwame is my heir.
If you were the king, would you have chosen Kwame? Or do you believe Jabari's ambition or Tunde's cleverness deserved the throne? Comment below.